Welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Ready for a deep dive into some fascinating stuff?
Always?
Today, we're tackling the 10 Commandments of human health.
Okay.
Sounds kind of biblical, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's not about religion.
Right.
Think of it like a blueprint honed over thousands of years for optimal well-being. We're drawing from anthropology, clinical insights, cutting-edge research,
Mm.
all tailored for you, our awesome listeners.
What I find really intriguing is that
Right.
these commandments aren't some trendy diet or fitness fad. They're echoes of how humans thrived for millennia, principles woven into our DNA.
I love that. It's like tapping into that ancestral wisdom for modern living. So commandment number 1 sets the stage, right?
Yeah.
Thou shalt eat natural, nutrient-dense foods.
Yeah.
It's a world away from today's crazy diet advice, right?
Absolutely. To really grasp this, we got to go back in time, back to those 7,000 generations before us who thrived on a drastically different diet from what we eat today. Take the traditional Inuit diet, for example. They ate nose to tail, prioritizing organ meats and animal fats because of how nutrient-dense they are.
It's mind-blowing, right?
Mhm.
Because today we're told to choose lean meats. But those Inuit hunters actually considered those cuts dog food. They valued the organs for their nutritional power.
Exactly. And it goes way beyond the Inuit. The Biosphere 2 experiment in the 90s that really drove this home.
Oh, right.
They had fruits and veggies galore,
Mhm.
but the participants had health issues because their food lacked the nutrient density of a traditional whole foods diet.
So it's not just about eating healthy in the modern sense, but aligning with what our bodies are truly designed for.
100%.
You mentioned transgenerational effects of our food choices. What does that mean for us, like practically?
Well, think of it this way. The food you eat today, that doesn't just affect you, it can impact your children, even your grandchildren's health. The foods we choose, they influence our genes, and those changes can be passed down for generations. Powerful stuff, huh?
Wow. Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of grabbing that processed snack, we should all ask, would my great-grandmother even recognize this as food?
Right.
Okay, on to commandment number 2. Thou shalt train with strength and consistency.
My brain immediately goes to lifting weights, but is that what it's really about?
It's a common misconception. This commandment isn't about becoming a bodybuilder.
Okay.
It's about building functional strength, the kind that lets you move through life with ease,
Yeah.
lift your kids, carry those groceries, maintain your independence as you age.
So the kind of strength their ancestors needed for their daily lives, like hunting, gathering, building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those hunter-gatherers weren't bulky like bodybuilders. They were lean, efficient, built for survival.
Right, not just for looks.
Exactly.
Okay, starting to see that pattern again, aligning with that ancient wisdom. So how do we translate that to our world of desk jobs and, all the modern conveniences?
It's about finding ways to challenge your muscles, build that functional strength.
Think body weight exercises, resistance training, even activities like gardening or just carrying your kids around. It's about integrating movement into your daily life, not just squeezing in a gym session.
Okay, much more approachable. Let's move on to commandment number 3. Thou shalt sleep long and deep. Oh boy, this one hits home. Guilty as charged. Sacrificing sleep, thinking I can power through on caffeine and willpower.
And it's not just about feeling tired. Sleep deprivation really impacts both your physical and mental well-being. Sleep is when your body repairs tissues, consolidates memories, regulates hormones. It's crucial.
So it's not just recharging our batteries, but giving our bodies the downtime they need. But we live in this culture that glorifies busyness and lack of sleep, right?
Yeah, and that's a worrying trend. Think of sleep like the foundation of your health. Without it, everything else crumbles.
I hear you. Feeling motivated to prioritize sleep now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to commandment number 4, which, ties in perfectly. Thou shalt expose thyself to sunlight at daybreak and avoid artificial lights at night.
This one's all about the power of our circadian rhythm. It's our internal clock that regulates our sleep-wake cycles. Sunlight in the morning signals to our bodies it's time to wake up, boosts our mood, alertness.
And avoiding artificial light at night allows our bodies to produce melatonin, so we fall asleep naturally. It's crazy how our modern lifestyle has messed with these natural rhythms.
Exactly. We're bombarded with artificial light from screens, lamps, even streetlights long after sunset. It confuses our internal clocks.
This reminds me of when I lived in Cuba during the special period. Electricity was scarce, we had rolling blackouts. I had to adjust to life with much less artificial light.
Interesting.
It was tough at first, but I actually slept more soundly and woke up feeling more refreshed.
That's a perfect example of how adaptable our bodies are. We can reset our internal clocks by aligning with natural light patterns. Even just 15 minutes of sunlight each morning, dimming lights a few hours before bed.
Simple, but powerful. Okay, commandment number 5 might surprise some people. Thou shalt fast deeply, several times per year. Honestly, fasting makes me think of deprivation, but I'm sensing there's more to it.
There's a lot of misunderstanding around fasting. It's not about starvation or punishment.
Right.
It's a practice that lets your body tap into incredible processes like autophagy, which we'll get into later.
You know, I kind of think of it like silence in music.
Yeah.
Those quiet moments make the melodies stand out more. Fasting, in a way, gives our bodies that chance to reset and rejuvenate.
That's a beautiful analogy, and it's spot on. Prolonged fasting, going beyond skipping a meal or two, triggers autophagy, a cellular cleansing process. It removes damaged components and renews.
It's like a deep clean for our cells, decluttering the junk so they can function better.
Precisely. And the benefits go way beyond just cleaning up. Fasting improves insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, even supports healthy aging.
Definitely intrigued. I know our listeners are eager to hear more about fasting and autophagy, but we'll save that deep dive for part 3.
Sounds good.
For now, commandment number 6. Thou shalt avoid environmental toxins. This feels particularly relevant today. We're bombarded with chemicals and pollutants. I try to eat healthy, but then you hear about pesticides, chemicals in the water. It's almost like, where do you even begin?
I know what you mean. It's not about becoming a hermit or living in fear, though. It's about knowing where these toxins are and making choices to minimize exposure.
So empowering ourselves with knowledge and taking action, even small steps, to protect our health. Where do we start then? Where are these toxins hiding?
The main culprits are pesticides, household chemicals, and processed foods. Pesticides linger on produce, cleaners are loaded with harsh chemicals, processed foods have all those additives and preservatives that disrupt our bodies.
Makes sense. So organic produce when possible, natural cleaning products, limiting processed foods, good starting points.
Absolutely. It's about those conscious choices, little by little, to create a healthier environment.
Okay, on to commandment number 7. Thou shalt seek regular medical checkups and blood work. Seems straightforward, but it's easy to put those off when you feel fine.
That's a common trap. We think of medical care as reactive. You get sick, you seek help. But this commandment emphasizes a proactive approach. Checkups and blood work are tools to get insights into your well-being.
Like taking your car for regular maintenance, even when it's running smoothly, to catch potential issues early.
Exactly. Blood work can reveal a lot about our health: cholesterol, blood sugar, hormone imbalances, potential deficiencies.
But there's so much conflicting info about which blood markers actually matter. Some can be misleading, right?
True. Not all blood markers are equal. Some traditional markers, like tumor markers, can be unreliable. Work with a healthcare professional who really understands blood work and can help you interpret your results accurately.
So it's about getting the tests and understanding what the results mean, using that info to optimize our health. If you're interested in learning more about interpreting your blood work, by the way, we'll be diving deeper into that topic in our Ultimate Guide to Interpreting Your Blood Work program on our website.
Awesome resource.
Okay, moving right along to commandment number 8. Thou shalt breathe deeply with your belly. This one made me laugh a little, you know.
I get it.
Like, we all know how to breathe, right?
Uh-huh.
But I realized how often I take shallow breaths, especially when I'm stressed or working.
You're not alone. So many of us have gotten used to shallow breathing. Contributes to stress, anxiety, even digestive issues.
It's like we've forgotten how to breathe properly, how to use our diaphragm for those deep, nourishing breaths.
Exactly. And those deep breaths have a huge impact on our well-being. They calm the nervous system, reduce stress hormones, improve circulation, even massage our internal organs.
Like a mini massage from the inside out.
Yeah,
So how do we relearn to breathe properly?
it's about awareness. Throughout the day, notice how you're breathing. Shallow breaths from your chest or deep breaths from your belly.
If you catch yourself taking those shallow breaths, consciously take a few deep belly breaths. Inhale through the nose, fill the belly, exhale through the mouth.
Exactly. Practice regularly. You'll be amazed how much calmer and centered you feel. We even have a bonus module on belly breathing in our Ultimate Guide to Interpreting Your Blood Work program on our website.
Oh, nice. Okay, commandment number 9. Thou shalt build valuable things in connection with other humans. This is so relevant today with all the loneliness and social isolation.
It's a silent epidemic, huge consequences for our well-being. We're more connected than ever through technology, but those connections are often superficial.
Right, hundreds of Facebook friends. But how many deep, meaningful connections do we truly have? It's about quality, not quantity, right?
Exactly. This commandment emphasizes genuine relationships, working on meaningful projects, creating a sense of belonging. These connections are good for our hearts and our brains.
You're talking about cognitive reserve, right?
Yes. Engaging in stimulating activities and having strong social ties can protect against cognitive decline later in life.
Building valuable things together, whether it's a garden, a volunteer project, or just sharing a meal, that strengthens those connections.
It really does.
So maybe instead of social media, we should reach out to a friend, join a local club, volunteer.
Great ways to cultivate those meaningful connections.
Okay, final commandment, focused on stress. Thou shalt neutralize stress with sauna, massage, and flotation. Sounds pretty luxurious.
It might sound indulgent, but managing stress is essential. Saunas, massage, flotation, these are tools to unwind, de-stress, promote deep relaxation.
I've experienced the benefits of all three, and I can attest to their effectiveness. Saunas flush out toxins, massage relieves tension, and flotation provides that sensory deprivation for deep relaxation and mental clarity.
Exactly. Each offers unique benefits, but they all aim to manage stress and promote calm.
I'm already feeling more relaxed just thinking about it. But not everyone has access to these things regularly. Any tips for managing stress on a daily basis?
Absolutely. Time in nature, mindfulness, calming music, a warm bath, reading, even just taking a few deep breaths can make a huge difference. And here's a quick tip. If you can, try swimming underwater for a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's so special about swimming underwater?
It triggers a physiological response that lowers your heart rate and calms your nervous system. Instant relaxation button.
I'm totally trying that next time I'm in the water. For those wanting to explore more advanced stress management techniques, we have a masterclass called 1,000 Faces of Hormesis, which explores using controlled stress to make our bodies stronger. It's on our website, along with all the other resources we've mentioned today.
It's about harnessing the power of stress to make us more resilient.
We've covered a lot today. The 10 Commandments of Human Health, from food to movement, sleep, stress, and connection.
And remember, they're not rigid rules, but guiding principles for a healthier, more fulfilling life. It's about taking that ancient wisdom and adapting it to our modern world.
So as we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, I encourage you to think about these commandments. Which ones resonate most? What small changes can you make today to align your lifestyle with these ancient principles? We'll be back soon with part 2 to explore each commandment in more detail, so stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our exploration of the 10 Commandments of Human Health. I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling inspired to make some changes. It's like we're unearthing these ancient secrets to well-being.
It is fascinating, right? These commandments, they're not revolutionary, they're evolutionary. Reminders of how our bodies and minds are meant to thrive.
Exactly. So let's revisit that first commandment. Thou shalt eat natural, nutrient-dense foods. We talked about the Inuit diet and the Biosphere 2 experiment, but how do we apply that in our lives? We can't all start hunting seals.
Right. You don't have to go that extreme. It's about adapting those principles. Think about the core concept, nutrient density.
Okay.
Our ancestors ate foods that gave them the most nutritional bang for their buck. No supplements, no processed foods. They relied on whole, unprocessed foods packed with vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids.
So quality over quantity, choosing foods as close to their natural state as possible.
Exactly. And remember the transgenerational effect.
Yeah?
By prioritizing nutrient-dense foods, you're not just nourishing yourself, you're setting the stage for healthier future generations. A powerful legacy.
That really makes you think about the impact, yeah. Okay, second commandment. Thou shalt train with strength and consistency. We talked about functional strength, the kind that helps us move through life. But it's so easy to become sedentary these days. How do we build that strength without becoming gym rats?
Think about the movements our ancestors used, those basic movements for survival. Pushing, pulling, lifting, carrying. That's what builds functional strength.
So not just lifting weights, but incorporating those movements into daily life. Carrying groceries, playing with the kids, gardening, taking the stairs.
Exactly. Make movement a part of your lifestyle, not just something you squeeze in.
Right.
And consistency is key. Better to do a little each day than one crazy workout.
I like that, a little each day. Okay, commandment number 3, and this one's a big one for me. Thou shalt sleep long and deep. We know we need sleep, but it's the first thing to go when we're busy.
And that can really backfire. Sleep is crucial for, well, practically every aspect of our health. Tissue repair, hormone regulation, memory consolidation, immune system boost. Chronic sleep deprivation increases your risk of so many things, from weight gain to heart disease to depression.
Oh, I know. When I'm sleep deprived, I'm irritable, can't focus, crave junk food. It's a downward spiral.
Exactly. Sleep is the foundation. Without it, everything crumbles.
Okay, no more skimping on sleep. What are some practical things we can do to prioritize it? I know routine and a consistent schedule are important.
Those are key, definitely. But also, think about your sleep environment.
Okay.
Is it dark, quiet, cool? Those make a difference. Avoid caffeine and alcohol before bed.
Right.
Put away those electronics at least an hour before you sleep. That blue light messes with your melatonin production.
Those are all great tips. I'm definitely going to work on creating a more sleep-friendly environment. Okay, on to commandment number 4, which fits in perfectly. Thou shalt expose thyself to sunlight at daybreak and avoid artificial lights at night.
This one's all about respecting that circadian rhythm, that internal clock that controls so much our sleep-wake cycles, hormones, even our mood. When we sync up with natural light and darkness, our health benefits.
We talked about morning sunlight, but what about those of us who live in places with limited daylight, especially in winter?
Good question. If natural sunlight is scarce, try a light therapy box. It mimics sunlight. Even a few minutes in the morning can help reset your internal clock and boost your mood.
That's a good tip, thanks. And what about avoiding artificial light at night? It's tough to escape screens and bright lights.
It is a challenge, but there are things you can do. Dim the lights a few hours before bed. Switch your phone to night mode. Wear blue light blocking glasses if you're on the computer or watching TV.
Okay, all doable changes. Amazing how light can have such a big impact. All right, commandment number 5. Thou shalt fast deeply several times per year. This one always sparks questions, even controversy. Why is fasting in these ancient health principles?
Fasting has been practiced for centuries for both spiritual and health reasons. It's about abstaining from food for a specific period. When done safely, it offers some amazing benefits.
You mentioned autophagy earlier. Can you explain that in more detail and how it relates to fasting?
Absolutely. Autophagy is like your cell's internal recycling and cleaning system. It's a natural process, happens in all living things. Cells break down and recycle damaged components, removing waste, making new building blocks.
So it's like a deep clean for the cells, decluttering and making space.
Exactly. This process is essential for cellular health, preventing age-related diseases, promoting longevity. Optimal autophagy means resilient, efficient cells that adapt to stress better.
Makes sense. But how does fasting trigger this?
When we eat, our bodies are busy digesting, processing food, requires energy and resources. The cells shift into growth mode.
So they're focused on taking in nutrients, building new structures, no time for cleaning.
Exactly. But when we fast, we give the digestive system a break.
Okay.
The cells shift their focus to repair and maintenance.
Like hitting pause on construction so the cleanup crew can work.
Great analogy. As the cells clear out debris, they become more efficient, more resilient, better at their jobs.
So it's not deprivation, it's giving our bodies a chance to reset.
Exactly. The benefits go beyond just cellular cleanup. Autophagy improves insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, protects against neurodegenerative diseases, even helps with weight loss.
Wow, a multifaceted health booster. I get why there's so much excitement around this.
It's remarkable. The more we learn about autophagy, the more we realize how fundamental it is to our health and longevity.
Okay, let's talk types of fasting. Intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting. What are the key differences and benefits of each?
Sure. Intermittent fasting is cycling between eating and fasting on a schedule.
Okay.
There's the 168 method where you fast for 16 hours, 8 for 8. Or the 5.2 method, where you eat normally for 5 days, restrict calories for 2 non-consecutive days.
So it's more about when you eat, not what you eat.
Exactly. A good way to ease into fasting without huge changes. Even short fasts can trigger autophagy and have benefits.
What about prolonged fasting?
That's abstaining from food for 24 hours or longer.
Okay.
It triggers more autophagy and can be especially helpful for people with things like insulin resistance or autoimmune disorders.
But important to do it safely, under the guidance of a healthcare professional, especially if you have any health conditions.
Absolutely. Safety first. It's not something to jump into lightly. Work with a doctor who can monitor you.
Okay, good advice. So to recap, the benefits of fasting: autophagy, cellular cleanup, improved insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation, weight loss. Anything else?
It can also improve brain function, boost energy, and give you mental clarity. Many people feel sharper, more focused, and more energized when they fast.
Interesting. I always thought fasting would make you tired and weak.
It's a common thought, but once your body adapts, it gets better at using stored energy. You might actually feel more energized.
I'm definitely intrigued to try it. Any precautions or potential downsides we should know?
For sure. As we said, fasting isn't for everyone. People with certain medical conditions like diabetes or eating disorders should avoid it. Pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers should talk to their doctors first.
Right.
And always listen to your body. Stop if you feel dizzy, weak, or nauseous.
Good reminder.
It shouldn't feel like punishment or deprivation. It's about finding a balance that works for you.
Okay, on to commandment number 6. Thou shalt avoid environmental toxins. Toxins seem to be everywhere.
They are food, water, air, even products we use at home. It's a constant exposure.
It feels overwhelming. Where do you even start?
Start by knowing the common sources like we mentioned. Pesticides in produce, household chemicals, processed foods. Knowledge is power. Once you know where they are, you can make choices to minimize your exposure.
So, organic produce, natural cleaning products, limiting processed foods, those are good first steps. But what about things we can't control, like air pollution or chemicals in the water?
Those are valid concerns. Invest in an air purifier for your home if air pollution is bad where you live. Use a water filter. And think about other sources like plastic containers, personal care products, even the materials in your furniture.
It's about making those conscious choices step by step.
Exactly. It all adds up.
Okay, commandment number 7. Thou shalt seek regular medical checkups and blood work. We know we should, but it's easy to put it off when you feel good. Why are regular checkups so important?
It's like car maintenance. You wouldn't wait for your car to break down before taking it to the mechanic.
Right.
Same with your health.
Catch potential issues early before they become big problems.
Exactly. And blood work can tell you a lot, even if you don't have symptoms. Cholesterol, blood sugar, hormone levels, even markers for certain diseases.
We talked about some blood markers being misleading. How do we know which tests are important and how to understand the results?
That's where a good healthcare professional comes in. They can help you choose the right tests, explain the results, and create a plan.
So it's about getting the test and understanding what they mean. For those who want to learn more, we have our ultimate guide to interpreting your blood work on our website, which goes into all the details.
It's a great resource.
Okay, commandment number 8. Thou shalt breathe deeply with your belly. I have to admit, when I first saw this one, I thought, well, duh, we all know how to breathe. But then I realized how often I take shallow breaths, especially when I'm stressed.
It happens to a lot of us. We get used to shallow breathing, which can lead to stress, anxiety, even digestive problems.
Like we've forgotten how to breathe properly, how to use our diaphragm.
Exactly. And those deep breaths are so beneficial. They calm the nervous system, reduce stress hormones, improve circulation, and even massage those internal organs.
We talked about practicing deep belly breathing, but any other techniques?
Sure. Yoga and meditation incorporate deep breathing. And if you're feeling stressed, try this. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 7, exhale slowly through your mouth for 8. Repeat a few times.
Nice, I'll have to try that. Okay, commandment number 9. Thou shalt build valuable things in connection with other humans. So important today, with loneliness and isolation on the rise.
It's a real problem. We're hyper-connected but disconnected at the same time. We might have lots of online friends, but not many deep, real connections.
We've traded quality for quantity. So how do we cultivate those genuine connections in a world that often feels isolating?
It takes effort. Put away the phone, turn off the TV, and connect face-to-face. Join a club, volunteer, take a class, spend quality time with loved ones. Be present and engaged.
You mentioned building valuable things together, like what?
It could be anything. A community garden, volunteering, cooking together, creating something. Shared experiences, working towards a goal that builds connection and belonging.
I love that. It's not just about receiving support, it's about giving back.
Exactly. And those strong connections are good for our hearts and our brains. They build cognitive reserve, protecting us as we age.
It's win-win. Okay, final commandment. Thou shalt neutralize stress with sauna, massage, and flotation. Sounds very relaxing.
It might sound like a luxury, but managing stress is crucial. Chronic stress is really hard on our bodies and minds.
We talked about the benefits of saunas, massage, and flotation, but those aren't always accessible.
Yeah.
What are some everyday ways to manage stress?
There are lots of options. Spend time in nature, practice mindfulness, listen to music, take a bath, read, take deep breaths. And don't forget that underwater swimming trick.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Instant relaxation.
Exactly. And if you want to explore more advanced techniques, check out our 1,000 Faces of Hormesis masterclass on our website. It's about using controlled stress to make your body stronger.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, revisiting the 10 Commandments and how to apply them.
Remember, they're not rigid rules, but guidelines for a healthier life. Take inspiration from our ancestors and adapt it to your own needs.
So think about these commandments. Which ones resonate with you? What small changes can you make today? And be sure to join us for part 3, where we'll dive deep into fasting and autophagy.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It's the grand finale of our exploration of the 10 Commandments of human health. And as promised, we're diving deep into the world of fasting and autophagy.
It's definitely a hot topic right now, and for good reason. More and more research is showing just how beneficial fasting can be for our health.
I'll admit, I was a bit skeptical at first, intentionally going without food. It seemed like the opposite of what we're always told about health and nutrition. But the more I learn, the more fascinated I become.
It is a shift in thinking for a lot of people. We've been told to eat constantly to fuel our bodies, but what if those periods of not eating are actually crucial?
That's the big question. So let's break it down. We've talked about autophagy, but can you remind us what it is and why it's so important?
Think of it as your cell's built-in recycling and cleaning system. It happens in all living things. Cells break down damaged parts, remove waste, and create new building blocks.
So it's like a deep clean for our cells, getting rid of the junk.
Exactly. And this process is key for keeping our cells healthy, preventing age-related diseases, and helping us live longer. When autophagy is working well, our cells are stronger, more efficient, and can handle stress better.
That makes sense. But how does fasting actually make this happen?
Well, when we eat, our bodies are constantly digesting and processing food. That takes a lot of energy, and it puts our cells in a growth and building mode.
So they're busy taking in nutrients and making new stuff. No time for cleaning house.
Exactly. But when we fast, we give our digestive system a break. This lets our cells switch their focus from growth to repair and maintenance.
Like hitting pause on the construction so the cleaning crew can come in.
Perfect analogy. And as our cells clean up the debris, they become more efficient and resilient, and they can do their jobs better.
So it's not just about deprivation, it's about letting our bodies reset and rejuvenate at the deepest level.
Exactly. And the benefits of autophagy go beyond just cleaning. Research suggests it can improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, protect against brain diseases, and even promote weight loss.
It's like a health booster on multiple levels. I see why people are excited about this.
It's really remarkable. The more we learn, the more we see how crucial autophagy is for our health and how long we live.
Okay, let's talk about the different ways to fast. We've mentioned intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting. What are the differences and benefits of each?
Sure. Intermittent fasting is about cycling between eating and fasting on a schedule.
Okay.
There's the 168 method, fast for 16 hours, eat for 8. Or the 5.2 method, normal eating for 5 days, calorie restriction for 2 non-consecutive days.
So it's about when you eat, not necessarily what you eat.
Exactly. It's a good way to start fasting without making big changes. Even short fasts can trigger autophagy and give you benefits.
And prolonged fasting.
That's going without food for 24 hours or more.
Okay.
It triggers more autophagy and can be really helpful for people with things like insulin resistance or autoimmune disorders.
But it's important to do it safely, with guidance from a healthcare professional, especially if you have any health conditions.
Absolutely. Work with a doctor who can monitor you and make sure you're doing it right.
So to sum up the benefits of fasting, autophagy, cellular cleanup, better insulin sensitivity, less inflammation, weight loss. Anything else to add?
It can also boost brain function, energy levels, and mental clarity. People often feel sharper and more focused when they fast.
That's interesting. I always thought fasting would make you tired and weak.
It's a common misconception. Once your body adjusts, it gets better at using stored energy, so you might actually have more energy.
I'm definitely more open to trying it now. But before we finish up, any precautions or downsides to be aware of?
Definitely. As we've said, fasting isn't right for everyone. People with certain medical conditions like diabetes or eating disorders should avoid it. Pregnant and breastfeeding women need to talk to their doctors first.
Right.
And always pay attention to your body. Stop fasting if you experience anything negative like dizziness, weakness, or nausea.
Good advice.
It should never feel like you're punishing yourself. It's about listening to your body and finding what works for you.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the 10 Commandments of Human Health, I encourage you to think about incorporating fasting if it's right for you. It's a powerful way to improve your health at the most basic level.
And remember, these commandments are not strict rules, but guiding principles. It's about taking ancient wisdom and applying it to our modern lives.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope you've learned something valuable and feel inspired to take charge of your health. Until next time, keep exploring.